Madam Chair, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 39, printed in House Report number 118-158, offered by Mr. Roy of Texas.
Pursuant to House Resolution 614, the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy, and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes, and the chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas.
I thank the chair. I have an amendment that prohibits any of the funding from Milcom VA appropriated from being used to modify or remove any of the VA display of the original mission statement. Now, for just a quick second before I go there, I didn't reserve my time because I thought we were trying to move things along. I'm going to say, as a cancer survivor and as someone who did have chemo and as someone who was on Neulasta to deal with a weakened immune system, I was in a hospital and I wasn't being forced to wear masks and I wasn't being forced to take any shots. If I wanted to take the flu shot, I could. And we've got a CDC director who has said that this vaccine doesn't do anything to help the spread from other people to you. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So yeah, we should get rid of the vaccine mandates. But on this, another amount of craziness from this administration. On March 16th, 2023, earlier this year, the VA announced it updated the 1959 mission statement from, quote, to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan by serving and honoring the men and women who are America's veterans. Now it is a gender-neutral version, quote, to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for those who have served in our nation's military and for their families, caregivers, and survivors. That is, it upends the quote that is directly from President Lincoln. The original mission statement is posted in roughly 50% of the VA's facilities. The VA has been working through replacing them over the last couple of months by directive. It's unclear how many displays are left. The Trump administration resisted calls to change the motto and put an additional 140 plaques at national cemeteries bearing Lincoln's quote because it's a good quote. It's an historic quote. The fact is we should not use taxpayer dollars to allow this administration to unilaterally change the VA's historic motto and erase the words of President Lincoln in order to appease the radical left in advancing yet another one of their, cultural revisionist efforts. The VA's mission statement established in 1959 appropriately used the words of President Lincoln in his second inaugural address delivered on March 4th, 1865. Quote, with malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan. That quote is obviously came from a time frame in which we were concluding the Civil War. And it came a mere month, from my recollection and history, from when Abraham Lincoln was in fact assassinated. The speech was in part the basis of the Department of Veterans Affairs creation and declared mission. The department wants to continue to waste hard-earned taxpayer dollars to erase history and expunge Lincoln's words by replacing the VA's mission statement, all in an attempt to earn woke brownie points. I am thankful, of course, for the millions of men and women who have served valiantly in our armed forces, but changing the VA motto is just virtue signaling. We should be focused on providing the quality care and benefits veterans have earned in a timely manner. The average wait time for new primary care appointments within the 13 South Texas Veterans Health System facilities was 50 days. Veterans seeking their first appointment locally, the new Pecan Valley Clinic, an average of 98 days. VA clinic in the district I represent, in Kerrville, 23 days, and that's the shortest. This amendment, like my other amendments, is about restoring VA focus, not advancing a political agenda out of step with the majority of Americans. I reserve.
One from Texas reserves his time. The gentlelady from Florida for 1